Welcome to the Red Pill Podcast, powered by AgencyX.net. Explore AI-driven creativity, groundbreaking innovations, and industry insights, all in one game-changing podcast. Enjoy.
Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're getting into one of humanity's most fascinating and maybe most misunderstood qualities. Creativity.
It's definitely a big topic.
Right. We've got this fantastic set of sources here that really try to unpack what creativity actually is, how it shows up in some surprising ways, and importantly, what makes human ingenuity distinct, especially now, with AI seemingly getting more creative.
That comparison is becoming unavoidable, isn't it?
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to explore two really interesting ways of thinking about creativity. They're called creativity in a box and absolute creativity. We want to understand how these two sort of dance together in our minds and then look at what that tells us about all the AI-generated stuff we're seeing. You might think you know creativity, but I think these sources add some really fascinating layers. Okay, let's unpack this.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Well, we often picture creativity as that sudden flash.
Yeah.
The light bulb moment.
Right. The sort of eureka idea.
Yeah. But our sources highlight this other, really vital, more structured form. They call it creativity in a box. What exactly is that?
Well, it's basically innovation that happens within clear boundaries. Think about a jazz musician improvising, but they're working within a specific chord progression.
Okay.
Or maybe an engineer who has to solve a problem using only the materials they have on hand right then. It's all about working with, controlled elements, specific rules, maybe established conventions.
So it's not about breaking rules, but making something new by cleverly kind of recombining or reconfiguring existing stuff within those limits.
Precisely. Yeah, the core act is really about novel combinations, applying existing ideas in unexpected but valuable ways. And it's purposeful.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. Designing a new user interface, but you have to stick to the platform's limitations. Or a chef coming up with a new recipe using only what's in the pantry.
Okay.
Or even composing a sonnet that has a really strict structure, right? Or inventing a new manufacturing process, but using the machinery you already have. It's all in the box.
So it really thrives on deep knowledge of the field.
Yeah.
And recognizing patterns.
Absolutely. Deep domain knowledge is key.
Like Edison testing thousands and thousands of filaments.
Yeah.
He was constrained by material science, right?
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Or think about Google engineers constantly tweaking search algorithms. Their box is the internet itself and how users behave.
It's actually quite systematic then.
Yes, what's fascinating here is how systematic, how iterative, and really how foundational this type of creativity is. It builds directly on what we already know.
Okay, so that's working within boundaries, but now, what about those ideas that seem to just appear out of nowhere?
Yes.
Our sources talk about this other type, absolute creativity, sometimes called big C creativity or radical innovation. This is where it gets really interesting.
It really does. This is that insight that seems, unbidden. It feels emergent, intuitive, visionary even. It's not something you can easily trace back to a conscious step-by-step process of combining things.
So it feels like a genuine leap, like it came from the void almost.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. Appearing to stem from nowhere.
Like the classic stories, maybe? The scientist hit by a revolutionary theory while daydreaming? Or an artist who visualizes a totally new style in a dream. Is that the kind of thing?
Yes, exactly. The hallmarks are that apparent lack of a clear source and this generative quality that seems to come from the abstract.
How does it work? I mean, where does it draw from?
It seems to draw on subconscious processing, emotional resonance, metaphorical thinking, holistic perception, things that aren't strictly logical step-by-step processes.
So it might bubble up from just a vague feeling or a powerful dream.
Or even a sudden connection between life experiences that seem totally unrelated before.
And this type, this has the potential to really shift paradigms.
A huge potential.
We're talking things like Einstein's thought experiments leading to relativity. That wasn't just combining existing equations, was it?
Not in a straightforward way, no. Or Kekule's dream about the snake biting its tail, revealing the benzene ring structure.
Right, I remember that one.
Or the invention of abstract expressionism in art. Or even, the very concept of the World Wide Web as this new kind of global information system.
Wow. Okay, so these seem almost opposite. One structured, one seemingly Out of the blue.
Which raises the big question, doesn't it? How does something so mysterious connect back to the more structured creativity in a box? Our sources really dig into this.
Right. They make it clear these two aren't separate things operating in isolation. They're actually in this vital symbiotic dance.
Exactly. They feed each other.
How does that work? How do they influence each other?
Well, first, you have the idea that the box feeds the leap. So really immersing yourself deep within a box. That means getting the domain expertise, doing the rigorous practice, wrestling with defined problems. All that provides the raw materials, the cognitive frameworks that your subconscious mind can then draw upon later during those moments of absolute creativity.
Ah, I see. So Kekulé needed to know a lot about chemistry for his dream about the snake to actually mean something scientifically.
Precisely. And Einstein needed that deep mastery of physics for his intuitions about relativity to be, well, transformative, not just random thoughts.
So you can't just have a flash of genius out of thin air. You need that foundation first.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You need the building blocks.
Okay, so the box feeds the leap,
Yeah.
but then the leap needs the box too,
Well,
right?
absolutely. That's the other side of the dance. An absolute creative insight, that big aha moment, is often just the starting point.
Right.
To actually be realized or shared or applied in the world, it has to be brought back into a box.
How so?
That visionary idea needs structure. It needs testing, refining, communication. And you have to use existing tools, languages, constraints to do that.
Like an abstract painting still needs technique and paint and canvas.
Exactly. Or a revolutionary scientific theory needs mathematical formalism. It needs experiments to verify it. You have to translate the leap into a shareable, testable form.
And it sounds like it becomes this ongoing cycle, an iterative refinement, as the sources put it.
That's a great way to describe it. A new insight might actually define a whole new box. And then within that new box, more in the box, creativity can happen, refining the idea.
Yeah.
And sometimes getting really stuck, struggling intensely inside a box, can actually trigger a new absolute insight. It's a loop.
Fascinating. It's not linear at all.
Not at all. And if we pull back to the bigger picture, both types of creativity, really, at their heart, they rely on our human capacity for what some call embodied cognition.
Embodied cognition.
Well, that's that. It's the idea that our thoughts, our ideas, are deeply rooted in our physical, sensory, and emotional experiences. Not just abstract symbols in the brain. And also our capacity for deep meaning making. Human creativity is often driven by, well, human things. Curiosity, emotion, big existential questions, the desire to connect, to express something.
And we judge the results based on human values.
Exactly.
Right.
The novelty, the value. It's judged through a lens of human experience, human need, human emotion.
Which inevitably brings us to the elephant in the room, AI. How does this whole human dance of creativity compare to what AI is doing today? Can AI be truly creative in the same way we've been discussing?
Well, this is where our sources draw a pretty fundamental distinction. AI, especially the generative models we see now, large language models, image generators.
Yeah, the ones everyone's talking about.
They excel tremendously at creativity in the box. But, and this is crucial, typically under human supervision or direction.
Okay, what does that mean? Excels in the box. What's it doing?
It means AI is incredibly powerful at analyzing massive data sets, finding complex patterns within that data, and then generating novel combinations based on those patterns, all within the parameters set by its training data and the prompts we give it.
So it can write a sonnet in Shakespeare's style because it's learned the box of Shakespeare's style and sonnet structure.
Exactly. Or design a chair based on analyzing thousands of chair designs, or even suggest new molecule combinations for drug discovery by remixing known chemical patterns. It's combinatorial creativity and pattern remixing on an absolutely massive scale.
So it's like a superpowered assistant for that in-the-box part.
You could say that, yeah. Given the right inputs, the right box definition, it's fantastic.
Where does it fall short then? When you think about that absolute creativity?
Well, the consensus in our sources is that AI fundamentally lacks genuine, absolute creativity. It cannot have a true aha moment, one that's born from subconscious processing or embodied experience or that deep existential yearning we talked about.
So its outputs are really just sophisticated extrapolations from the data it was trained on,
Yeah.
not visionary leaps from nowhere.
That seems to be the case. It doesn't dream in the human sense. It doesn't have those intuitive flashes grounded in lived experience.
Is that because it lacks,
Yeah.
a body, emotions, a personal history, consciousness, all those things, that make up the human condition.
That's precisely the argument. Its ideas, if you can call them that, lack that deep grounding, the emotional resonance, the intrinsic meaning-making that really fuels human absolute creativity.
So it doesn't feel the need to create or understand why something might be beautiful or meaningful beyond just calculating statistical likelihoods from its data.
Correct. It doesn't possess that intrinsic motivation.
And it doesn't have its own purpose beyond the prompt we give it. It's not intrinsically curious.
No, its creativity is reactive. It generates based on prompts. It doesn't possess its own curiosity or wonder or that deep internal drive to solve a problem it feels is important.
So even if an AI generates something that looks like a radical leap,
Right, it can simulate outputs that resemble absolute creativity. But the key difference is it doesn't understand the leap it appears to make. It can't reflect on the origin or the meaning of its own output in a truly subjective, conscious way.
okay. So wrapping this up then, what does this all mean for us, for humans, living in this world with increasingly capable AI?
Well, I think what our sources really beautifully illustrate is that human creativity is this incredible tapestry. It's woven from both the disciplined work, the creativity in a box, and that almost magical spark of absolute creativity.
They're not rivals, but partners.
Exactly. Partners in this continuous, iterative dance. The constraints, the box, provide the fertile ground, and the absolute leap breaks totally new ground, which then very often becomes a new box to explore.
And that whole dynamic process, it's fueled by our embodied experience, our emotions, our conscious search for meaning. That's the core of human originality.
Precisely. AI, for all its amazing power at combining and remixing within the boxes we give it, it remains a sophisticated tool.
It can help us be more creative.
Immensely. Especially within those structured domains, that in-the-box work. But it can't replicate that profound, slightly mysterious, and just deeply human synergy between the two kinds of creativity.
The magic isn't just in making something new.
No, it's in the why and the how, rooted deep in the human experience, and that's a depth current AI.
Yeah.
It can't reach.
So a final thought maybe for everyone listening, what new box, what skill, what domain, what problem will you immerse yourself in? Could that focused effort spark your next absolute leap?
Or maybe, how could you use the incredible in-the-box power of AI as a tool to help you actually realize and structure one of those absolute creative visions you might have?
Oh, definitely something to ponder as you go about your day.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Red Pill Podcast. If you enjoyed diving deep into the future of AI and media, make sure to follow and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned. Bigger insights, bolder ideas, and game-changing discussions are coming your way. Sponsored by agencyx.net.